All right, welcome to the Explainer. Today, we're getting into something huge for any startup founder, the launch. But we're not just talking about any launch. We are unpacking the playbook, the secrets behind creating a launch video that does more than just say, hey, we exist. We're talking about how to make it go absolutely viral. For early stage startups, this has pretty much become gospel, right? You've got to make a killer launch video. And for good reason. A great video, it can literally fill your waitlist overnight. It can get investors scrambling to find your email. And maybe most importantly, it proves you know how to sell your story. The stakes are super high, but so is the reward. Okay, so how? How do you actually do that? Well, it turns out it's not just some kind of magic. And it's definitely not about just hitting record on your phone. The founders who are absolutely crushing this, they're following a surprisingly clear playbook. And that's exactly what we're going to break down right now.
So first things first, let's just take a step back and ask why. Why are videos suddenly the king of the launch? According to Lester Chen, who's the head of creators at A16Z, this isn't just some passing trend. No way. He argues it's a massive, fundamental shift in how companies have to communicate if they want to get noticed at all.
And his breakdown here just makes so much sense. Think about it. You've got a whole new generation of founders who basically grew up on YouTube and TikTok. Video is their native language. And they get that tech products aren't just competing with other tech products anymore. They're competing with Netflix, with memes, with everything for your attention. But the real kicker here, the big insight, is this idea of social currency. A launch that goes viral shows investors you can do one thing that's absolutely crucial: sell a story. And that right there, that might be the key that unlocks the door to that meeting you need.
All right, so where does this playbook actually start? Is it with the camera? The editing software? Nope. It starts right here with the story. Before you even think about filming, you have to nail the story. This is the absolute non-negotiable foundation. Get this wrong, and nothing else matters.
And this quote from Nico Christie at Shortcut is just so on point. He says you need to work backwards from the perfect story, weeks in advance. What he's really saying is this isn't something you tack on at the end. It's a deeply strategic process. You're trying to build a narrative that feels so right, so obvious in hindsight, that your customer hears it and just goes, of course, why didn't this exist before? That's the feeling you're chasing.
And here's the thing, there's not just one right way to build that story. This slide shows two totally different but equally powerful paths. You've got the mission-driven thesis, like Goodfire AI. They're making this deep, fundamental research bet on the future, and their video is basically a manifesto. It's urgent, it's big picture. But then, on the other side, you have the user pain-driven pitch, like Flora. They are just laser-focused on the real hopes and fears of their target audience, creatives. Both work, both are powerful, but they come from completely different places.
Anjan Kata from Daylight really hits on where the most powerful stories come from. It's authenticity. He says their positioning wasn't about some clever marketing brainstorm. It was about getting clear again on their raison d'etre, their reason for being, their original purpose. It just goes to show sometimes the best story you can tell is the one you had from day one. Okay, so you've locked down your story. What's next? Well, now it's about bringing that story to life. This is where we get into the execution. It's all about nailing the vibe, the feel, the entire style of the video. And Nico Christie is back with let's just say, a very strong opinion on this. He's basically saying, no one gives a shit about your cinematic masterpiece. Forget the polish. Make a video that makes people think, wow, these guys are going to make an insane amount of money. For him, it's not about the fancy videography. The raw power of the product has to be the one and only star of the show.
And this idea from Siddhartha Huja fits right alongside that, but from a slightly different angle. He asks, can you show them that the future is here today? See, whether your video is super raw or beautifully polished, the end goal is the same. You have to unlock that collective aha moment. You want to give people goosebumps, make them feel like they're getting a peek into the future right now. It really is about showing, not just telling. So what this all comes down to is that you have to consciously choose your video's ethos. Look at the contrast here. On one side, you've got Daylight with the heart and craft approach. It was sensitive, well-made, deeply personal to the founder. It worked because it felt different and authentic in a sea of slick tech videos. Then you have Open Sesame, who went for the premium feel. They knew this was their one shot at a first impression, so they spent the money on cameras and audio to make it look and sound amazing, to signal the scale of their vision. Two different vibes, two different goals.
Okay, let's say you've done it. You nailed the story. You perfected the execution. You've got this amazing video. You're done, right? Not even close. Making the video is literally only half the battle. The real magic, the thing that separates a good launch from a viral one, is having a deliberate, tactical plan for how you're going to get it out there.
And I just love this quote from Nico. A launch is a weapon, not the goal. This completely reframes the whole thing, doesn't it? The video isn't the finish line. It's a strategic tool. It's a weapon you use to achieve your actual goals, whether that's getting a ton of signups, booking investor meetings, or attracting top talent.
So what does a weaponized strategy actually look like in practice? Well, it's kind of like a three-step dance with the social media algorithms. Step 1, you build your champions. You get a key group of people to share it first, just like Open Sesame did, to create that initial spark. Step 2, you incentivize engagement. This is so smart. Shortcut asked people to comment for early access, which just juices the algorithm. And step 3, you kickstart the whole thing by just directly asking your network to share and retweet. It's not about just dropping a link and hoping for the best. It's about actively building momentum from the ground up.
And here's one last, brutally honest reality check from Nico. He says, you know your launch was, well, not great, when all you get is people saying, congrats on the launch. That's not the goal. You're not looking for polite applause. You want people screaming, I need this now, or take my money, or how do I invest? That's how you know it actually worked.
So let's just boil this whole playbook down. If you're planning a launch, here are the 3 big takeaways. Number 1, start with the story. Obsess over it, get it right first. Number 2, nail the vibe. Make a conscious choice. Are you going for raw and authentic or polished and premium? And number 3, weaponize the launch. Don't just post it. Have a real strategy to make it fly. But okay, where is all of this headed? What's next? Weber Wong from Flora has a really interesting take on the whole meta. He thinks we've been in this long phase of super casual, kind of lo-fi, user-generated style content, and he thinks people are getting tired of it. His bet? Advertising is back. People are ready to be, well, seduced again by a great story, by something that's beautifully crafted and sells them a dream. And that really leaves us with a big final question to chew on. As founders are basically forced to become creators just to get noticed, what does advertising even mean anymore? Maybe, and this is the interesting part, maybe true authenticity, whether you show it through a super raw demo or a beautiful cinematic film. Maybe that is the new advertising. It's the most powerful kind there is. Definitely something to think about. Thanks for tuning in.